Okay, hello again. I'm lecturer Elie Nation as usual. So I'm coming in a module which is called wine and bar management. Hello. It has been a long time. Let's understand the following terms. The bar is a drinking area where everyone can get a drink, a beverage which is called alcoholic and non-alcoholic. While the wine is an alcoholic drink, where many people they do like it, and this is obtained from a grape juice. Know that the most consumed drink in this world it's a tea. Did you know? It's a something new, but we shall also back about it in this module. We shall learn about it, and also the James Bond's favorite typos is a vodka Martin, which is shaken, not distilled. Did you know again? And also, do you know that the spirity, which is mixed with ginger beer in a Moscow Mule, it's a vodka. It's another name for you. And also know that there is a Jordan is not obtained from any specific fruits. It is actually a sweet and flavorful syrup made from pomegranate juice and sometimes other red fruit like cherries and raspberries. That is another thing for you. I know. So this is a question I'm going to ask you, and you respond it at your own hand. Who is a Greek mythology in a glass of wine? Did you know that he is Dionysus? It's another things for you. It's another new things for you. A standard bottle of champagne is 715 milliliters in a size. A magnum bottles of a champagne is double in a size, so it is 1.5 liters or the equivalent of the two standard bottles. This also is something you should know. The screwdriver cocktail is made up with two ingredients. Do you know it? It's a vodka and orange juice. You should also ask yourself the original name for a sneaker bar. Did you know that the original name for a sneaker bar was a marathon bar? It's a new thing for you. Which region of the French claret wine produced in? Do you know that it's a Bordeaux regions of the French? It's a Bordeaux region. So you, this guys, this is a module which is called it is about and it's relating with a wine and even a bar in a general. And you know that make sure that you know all classifications of the drinks in order to involve and to participate in these modules on where you want or you need to acquire a high knowledge. Alcoholic drinks and non-alcoholic drinks. The alcoholic drinks are those drinks which is rich in alcoholics, which means that it is full of alcoholic. While non-alcoholic drinks are those drinks which does not has any alcoholic in its content. When we mean a beverage, it refers to any drinkable liquid typically consumed to quench the thirst. For example, there is carbonated water, natural water, squashes, and natural juices, syrups, tea, and also a coffee involves. And you know that, and also before you think about the coffee, you know its reference, where it's from, or producing countries for the coffee like Brazil, Vietnam, Colombia, Indonesia, Ethiopia, Honduras, and even in India. There is also a purchasing for coffee. There are some things you have to highlight, like origin, roast level, grind size, freshness, and certification. There is a reason for a bad coffee. You understand this before you love a coffee. 1. Water not fresh. Water has not reached at boiling point, insufficient or too much coffee used. infusion time too short or too long, or what, a wrong temperature, and even a coffee not roasted correctly, and even a stale or old coffee used. That can be reason for bad coffee. There is also incorrect grind of the coffee used for equipment in operation, and even coffee kept too long before use, or kept at wrong temperature, dirty equipment, and also sedimental remaining in a storage or serving compartment. There is a medium style or a modern style where the coffee can be served in. There's a filter, cafe cell, espresso doppio, cafe creme, espresso ristretto, and also Americano style, espresso macchiato, espresso con panna, cappuccino, cafe latte, and even a flat white. And even don't forget latte macchiato, cafe mocha, and also iced coffee, and even a Turkish, even an Egyptian style is involves decaffeinated or an instant modern. The hot chocolate, let's look at some point so as to mention in this course. There is a production process. The seeds are fermented for making hot chocolate, dried and shipped abroad, where they are then roasted and blended, and even before being pressed, ground and sieved for use as powdered as solid products. It is also used. And they then become cocoa powder, drink chocolate, eating chocolate, and couverture chocolate, and even used for decorating purpose. You should know that the alcoholic drinks are in a different classification, like beer, spirituous, liquor, wine, cocktail, and cider piri. When we say a beer, are fermented drinks that delivering the alcoholic content from conversion of the malt sugar into alcoholic by brewer's yeast. The alcoholic content of the beer varies according to a type and is usually between 3.5 and 10% alcoholic by volume. There's many types of beer, but there's a following. There is a bitter white beer, there is bottom, there is an old ale, and even a strong ale, barley wine, or barley wine. It also involves, and even a stout, porter, lager. It is also involves. You know that when we mean a black or a bitter, let's back on the bitter. Bitter is a pearl amber colored beer served on draught. This it is served on draught. May be sold as lighter bitter or ordinary bitter or best bitter. When bottled, it is known as pearl or white ale, depending on alcoholic strength. While white bitter, traditional beer, these are the traditional beers made with a high proportion of wheat, sometimes known as wheat beers. For example, there is what we call a Heineken, Missing, and even a Skol. It is involved. While we say a Bourbon, these are a strong, dark, or draught beer. This beer is also popular in winter when it is mulled or spiced and offered as a winter warmer. There is also what we call an old ale. Brown, sweeter and strong, can also be mulled or spices. This strong ale colors varies between pale and brown, and tastes between dry and sweet. Alcoholic content also varies. What is in a barley wine? Traditionally, an old or an old malt ale. This beer is sweet and strong and sold in small bottle or nip. Originally, 1/3 of a pint, or now 190 milligrams. In stout or stouts made from scotches, very dark, matte, and generously flavored with hops. While porter, brewed from a charred malt, highly flavored and aromatic. While lager, fermented, takes place at the bottom of the vessels, and the beers is stored at low temperature for up to 6 months and sometimes longer. Let me back on something that we can't jump in this course. Because in this course, I should know that the tea, as I told you, the tea is a main drink which is necessary in around the world, because it is only consumed at high. After water and other drinks, tea is a main. For example, there is a tea producing country like China, India, Japan, and even Sri Lanka, the country which is known to produce at high level. In China, for example, they produce a green tea, a black tea, and a oolong tea, while Indian produces black teas, and also they produce another one which contains this renewable or the renowned for a mascata flavor black teas, which means that this black tea it is also a largest produced the country. It means that they have experience in this one for producing. And also Japan produce green tea, and also they are known, or they are also specialized in making matcha. Known for green teas such as sacha, steamed tea. This sacha is a steamed tea with a grassy flavor. While Sri Lanka are famous for its Ceylon. The Ceylon tea is produced from Sri Lanka. There is a purchasing tea. When purchasing tea, consideration include quality, how the quality is, a source where it from varieties, like choose from various types of the tea based on flavor preference and intended use, like breakfast, afternoon, ceremony teas. They should be maintained or being followed, and even a packaging, please. Options range from loose or loose leaf tea, providing a flexibility in a brewing, 2 tea bags, or offering convenience, while in a quality determined by factors such as leaf grain, while it is whole, for example, whole leaf, broken leaf, or fanning, and even processing method should be considered, and even it's a freshness for me, for looking for the quality, and even in a source direct from reputable tea estate or through trusted suppliers to ensure authenticity and quality. There are also types of tea. Understand this tea because it will help you to select and to know which tea can I consume, apart from black tea, green tea, oolong tea, white tea, herbal tea. Understand them clearly so as to understand or to choose accordingly. Black tea. This black tea, it is full oxidized tea leaves, resulting in robust flavors and high caffeine content. These are high caffeine content. Example include Assam and the English breakfast. While green tea in unoxidized or lightly oxidized tea leaves, offering a range of flavors from grassy and vegetal to floral and nuts. Example include sencha or matcha and jasmine tea. It is jasmine tea. It's one of the green. Oolong tea. It is partial oxidized or oxidized tea leaf, providing balanced flavor between green and black tea. Example include Tai Guan Yang, Dong Ding, and Phoenix Oronga. And even in our white tea, minimal oxidizing or oxidation delicates flavor and often considered the least processed type of tea. Example include silver, needle, and white peony. In herbal tea or tisanes, infusion made from herbal fluids, flour, or spices, offering a wide range of flavor and health benefit. Example include chamomile, peppermints, and also rooibos. It's example of herbal tea. There is also what we call a coffee. There is a coffee producing country, and also, as I've told you, this course or this module of wine and bar management is dealing with a beverage, also a beverage like alcoholic and non-alcoholic, as I've told you. Let's look on the country which is high in coffee producing. One is Brazil, as I told you. This is the largest producer for its diverse range of the coffee. And also Vietnam, majority producers Robusta coffee. It produces Robusta from Vietnam. While Colombia, renowned for its high quality Arabica coffee. This produces Arabica coffee. While Indonesia, known for unique coffees like Sumatra and Java. And also Ethiopia, the birthplace of coffee, known for its unique flavor. This birthplace coffee. Why also Honduras, significant producer of Arabica coffee. This is produce Arabica coffee as Colombia. While India produces both Arabica and Robusta with a variety of distinct flavors. I may also, what can you consider while you are going the coffee? When purchasing coffee, consider the following factors. One, its origin. A different region produces coffee with distinctive flavors. Please check the origin, and even roast levels ranges from light to dark. Light roasts preserves more of the beans, and also original flavor or while dark roasts offers a stronger, more robust taste. And also grind size. Choose a basis or by basing on brewing method. Example, coarse for French. And also the freshness should be considered. Look for roast date, please, to ensure freshness. And also certification. Certification is very important, like a fair trade, organics, and other satisfaction should be considered while you are going to produce a coffee. A variety of coffee, and also there is several coffee spices, please. Species. These coffee species within the two most prominent being, like Arabica. It's one of the type of the variety of coffee, the Arabica, because the coffee Arabica known for its smooth, mild flavor and low caffeine. That it's one of the coffee. Let's jump on the modern service, or how can you service, or how can you give the service for the coffee. There's a modern service. Modern service, one, it is called a filter or filtre. Traditional method of making coffee, often served with a hot or cold milk or cream. This is what we call a filter, which means that when you serve the hot or cold milk or cream, this know that you are making a filter. A cafetière, this is a popular method of making and serving fresh coffee in an individual or multiple portion jug, often served with a hot or cold milk or cream. While an espresso, this is a traditional short, strong black coffee. An espresso doppio, this is a double espresso served in a large cup. While in a cafe creme, a regular coffee prepared from a fresh beans ground fresh for each cup, resulting in a thick cream, a colored moussey head. While in espresso ristretto, this is an intense form of espresso, often served with a glass of cold water in continental Europe. There is also what we call Americano. The Americano, it's an espresso with added hot water to create a regular black coffee. May also be regular black coffee made using filter method. While an espresso macchiato, espresso spotted with a spoonful of hot or cold milk, or hot milk form. That is what we call espresso macchiato. When you take an espresso and you spot with a spoonful of hot or cold milk, that is an espresso macchiato. While espresso con panna, this is an espresso with a spoonful of whipped cream on top. That is an espresso con panna. A cappuccino, it's an espresso coffee topped with steamed frothed milk, often finished with a sprinkling of chocolate or powdered or grated. In a coffee latte, it's a shot of espresso plus hot milk with or without a foam. It depends on your willing to add milk, foam, or to remove. But generally, cafe latte is an espresso plus hot milk without a foam or with. A flat white, this is a double shot of espresso topped with frothed milk, which has been stirred together with the flat milk from the bottom of the jug to create a cream rather than frothed texture. By continuing this model of the service, there is a latte macchiato. The latte macchiato, it's a steamed milk spotted with a drop of espresso. While cafe mocha, when you mean a cafe mocha, also you understand that it's a chocolate compound or syrups or powder followed by shot of espresso. The cup of glass is then filled with a fresh steamed milk topped with a whipped cream and cocoa powder. And even when you mean an iced coffee, know that it's a chilled regular coffee, sometimes served with a milk or simply single espresso topped up with iced cold milk. You should know and ask yourself how the Turkish or Egyptian is. This is an intense form of coffee made in a special jugs with finely ground coffee, while the caffeine, automatically coffee with caffeine removed, can be used as alternative to prepare the service style listed above. And even an instant coffee made from processed powder, often freeze dried or regular and decaffeinated. Knows that appropriate alcoholic strength of non-alcoholic drinks, there is 1% for non-alcoholic, or alcoholic has 0%, or not more than 0.5 or 0.05. Alcoholic is a free, while there is what we call dealcoholized, in a range of 0.05 or 0.5 is dealcoholized, while 0.5 up to 1.2 it's a low alcoholic. When we mean non-alcoholic drinks, you understand also a spirit. All spirits are produced by distillation of an alcoholic beverage. There is a popular spirit like a Black Label, Smirnoff, Hennessy, Bacardi, James Daniela are examples of a spirit. The pot distilled method and the patent distilled method are the method of producing spirits, while the pot still method is used for full and heavy flavored spirits such as brandy, while the patent still method, also referred to as the column still or continuous still, or the coffee still, after its inventor, which produces the lighter spirits such as vodka. Yeah, that is an example like a vodka. Distillation of the spirit. The principle of distillation is that ethyl alcoholic vaporizes at a lower temperature, like 78 Celsius than 100%. Thus, where a liquid containing alcohol is heated in enclosed environment, the alcohol will reform the steam phase and can be taken off, which means leaving water and other ingredients behind. This process raises the alcoholic strength of the resulting liquid. There's some base for spirit, like whiskey, gin, vodka, brandy, calvados, rum, tequila. For the whiskey or gin or even vodka, or its base, let me give you these classes. I will tell, or I will say spirit, and it will be followed by its base. Whiskey or gin or vodka, its base is barley or maize or rye. It's this berry, maize and rye is the base of the whiskey. White wine, it's a base of the brandy, and even cider, it's a base of calvados. White molasses, it's a base for rum. While blue agave juice is a base of the tequila, which means that tequila, its base is blue agave. When we mean a spirit, it has many types, like a gin. A gin, when we mean a gin, is taken from the first part of the word Genevre. I'm sorry, because I'm not good in French, which is the French term for juniper. A juniper is a principal botanica or flavoring agent used in production of the gin or of the gin. While rye, there is what we call also a rye. Rye is the main cereal generally used in a producing or in a production of Geneva gin and other Dutch gin. So let's continue by the types of the spirit, so as to help you to understand more about the following things. In a spirit, there is what we call a fruit gin and Geneva gin. It's one type of spirit. When you say a fruit gin, as the term implies, these are fruits flavored gin that may be produced from any fruit. The most popular are the sloe, orange, and lemon. While a Geneva gin, this is made in Holland by a pot still method alone and is generally known as Holland's gin. And again, there is what we call a London dry gin. This is the most well known as a popular of all the gin. It is unsweetened. This is unsweetened, and is also what we call Old Tom. This is a sweet gin made in Scotland. The sweetening agent in sugar syrup. As the name implies, it was traditionally used in a Tom Collin cocktail. That's why it is called Old Tom. There is what we call also Plymouth gin. This has a stronger flavor than London dry and is manufactured by Curtis in Devon. It is most well known for its use in the cocktail pink gin, together with the addition of Angostura bitter, and also what we call a brandy. That's we call what we call a brandy. The brandy, it is defined as a spirit distilled from wine. Apart from spirit, let's look on brandy. This brandy is from a spirit, which means that no, I'm sorry, this brandy is it is defined as a spirit distilled from wine. It's a spirit from wine. When we take wine and we distill them, we get a brandy. The word brandy is more usually linked with the name cognac and armagnac, but brandy is also made in almost all wine producing areas. There is many types of spirit. Let's look on an example of cognac. There is a Hennessy. Apart from Hennessy, there is others, but that is your work. You find another work. But apart from an example of cognac, know that there is a Hennessy, and there is also example of armagnac. Armagnac or c'est vivant. There is also an example of armagnac that I will tell you at the end. You make sure and not somewhere, because maybe your work, but and also take research by understanding and getting more about these cognac and armagnac, cause to help you, cause it's the difference. Or is a cognac brandy or whiskey? Huh? Cognac, of course, is a brand specifically from the cognac or cognac region of French. That is one region. It's from French. Let's jump apart from that brandy. Let's go to the rum. But what you have to mention about the brandy, it's from a wine. That's one. Some examples about the brand you may call cognac and armagnac. Those can be helpful for you. And also know that there is what we call rum. This is a spirit made from a fermented byproducts of a sugarcane. This is from a sugarcane rum. It is available in dark and light varieties and is produced in countries where sugarcane grows naturally. For example, Jamaica, Cuba, Trinidad, or Barbados, and even Guyana and the Bahamas. The example of rum, there is Malibu is it's an example, or also Captain Morgan, and even Bacardi is an example of the rum. Let's jump on vodka. This is a high. It's a high or very pure, but and still spirit. These are too pure spirit. This one, it is purified by being passed through activated charcoal, which removed virtually all aroma and flavor. It is described as a colorless. It's a colorless and a flavorless spirit. Example: Smirnoff Absolute vodka. That's an example. Let's jump on whiskey. This whiskey is a spirit made from cereal. Scotch whiskey from malted barley. It is from malted barley. And also Irish whiskey, usually from a barley, like North American whiskey, and bourbon from maize and rye. And also there is a type of whiskey like Scotch, Irish, Canadian, American, Japanese. That is some types of the whiskey. And also know that Scotch whiskey, this is primarily made from barley, malted, hence the term malt whiskey. Then heated over a fire. Grain whiskey are made from other grain and are usually blended with malt whiskey. Example: Red Label is an example of Scotch whiskey, while in Irish whiskey, this differs from Scotch in that hot air rather than a peat fire is used during malting. Thus, Irish whiskey does not gain the smoke quality of Scotch. It is also distilled 3 times rather than 2, as in making of Scotch, and is matured longer. For example, Jameson is an example of Irish whiskey. And also there is a Canadian whiskey. This is usually a blend of flavored and neutral whiskies made from grains such as rye, wheat, and barley. And also, for example, there is, as I told you, this Canadian. It is blended and flavored and neutral whiskey from made grains such as rye. And even there's a types of whiskey which is called Japanese. The Japanese is made by Scotch process and is blended. Let's jump on liquor. I'll define it as sweetened and flavored spirit. They should not be confused with liquor spirit, which may be whiskeys or brandies or great age and quality. Example: Sheridan is an example of the good liquor. And also a bland liquor is liquor with brandy as a basic ingredient, or while is a liquor, a brand may be defined as a brand or great age and excellence. Liquor production method. Let's look on liquor production method. 1, heat or infusion method. Then there is alcohol or maceration method. In heat infusion method, best when herbs or pearls and roots it is are being used, as heat can extract their oil, flavors and aromas. While in a cold or maceration method, best when soft fruits are used to provide the flavor and aroma. Flavoring ingredient as used to make liquors. Know these flavoring ingredients like black cola, caraway seed, cherries, cinnamons, coriander, and apricots. Example of the liquors are the Cointer. There's another one which is called Attack, Malibu, Sambuca, Grand Marnier. It's another example of the liquor. Again, there is what you call also aperitif. An aperitif is a pre-meal drink intended to stimulate the appetite. Students should understand the different types of aperitif, their production and proper service techniques. Here is the title's guide. There is a types of aperitif like vermouth, there is a bitter, there is a nice based spirity, and a vermouth. This is a fortified wine flavored with various botanical example include dry, like a French vermouth, and sweet. That's why you want to call a dry vermouth and sweet. That's dry, it's from French, whereas sweet is an Italian vermouth. In a bitter, it's a herbal spirit infused with bitter botanic ingredients. Example: there is Aperol, Campari, and Angostura bitter. In anise based spirit flavored with anise seed. Examples include pastis, ouzo, and absinthe. The wine, it's a great thing you can't forget while we are dealing with this module, because the wine is a alcoholic beverage obtained from the fermentation of a juice of freshly gathered grape. The fermentation takes place in the district of origin according to local tradition and practice. Okay, a grape is a fruit, botanically berry of the delicious woody vines of the flowering plant genus visit. There's factors that affects the quality of the wine, like climate and microclimate. That is one method of winemaking or vinification. Nature of the soil and subsoil, it also affects lack of the air or the vintage, and even vine family and grape spices. There is also aging or maturity process, method of cultivation, method of shipping or transportation, composition of grapes, storage temperature, years of fermentation, and yeast and fermentation. It's something you should consider while you are planning. And even viticulture. The viticulture is the study and the practice of cultivating grapevines, usually with the overall goal of the producing fruit that is suitable for vinification of the wine. And the vinification process, there is many process, but this is a main because it contains all elements. Know that harvesting is one process you harvest. It involves collecting or collection and sorting of the grapes, and also crushing. The next one, crush after harvest. Crush and pressing, extracting grape juice by using mechanical presser and crusher. And even after crushing, you ferment. Fermentation, the juice is left to its own device. Must all juice will begin fermenting naturally within 6 or 12 hours with the aid of wild yeast in the air. In clarification, it's another step after fermentation, involving filtering and fining. In aging and manufacturing can be done in a bottle or stainless steel or ceramic tanks, or largest wood, oval, or smaller barrel. And overall, vintage wine, the vintage wine wines are grown and made in particular years, and this is started on a bottle. And even there is non-vintage wines, are those where the bottle may contain wine from different years. In order it will be shown on this bottle. A vineyard is an area of a land where the grapevine grown in order to produce a wine. You can also use a vineyard to refer to the site or building in which a wine is produced. There is many classification of the wine, but under the classification of wine type, there is a still or light wine. This is the largest category. The alcoholic strength may be between 9% and 15% by the volume. Under this still wine, there is also another classification, like a red. This red produced by being fermented by in contact with grape skin, or from which a wine gets its color, normally dry wine. There is also white wine, there is a rose wine, there is a sparkling wine. That's was types of still wine. But no, also there is also what we call organic wine. There is also what we call vin du nature. Okay, that was another type. By end of this module, I would like to thank you for your attention. I'm lecturer Elie. Let's meet on the next video or the next lecturing program. For more information, I'm on WhatsApp at please 250723 13400. Thank you for your attention.